When will this vaccine be greenlit, and how do you know it's safe?
Well, we know it's safe because if you look at the process that's gone through for the determination of whether it's safe as well as if it's efficacious, was a clinical trial involving 44,000 people. The determination of the safety and the efficacy was made by an independent board, which is referred to as the Data and Safety Monitoring Board. They looked at the data, they found it to be safe and highly efficacious, about 95%, and even more efficacious against serious disease. The data was then given to the company. The company examines it carefully and prepares it in a package which is submitted to the FDA. The FDA career scientists scrutinize the data very carefully, and then together with their own advisory committee, an independent advisory committee called the Vaccine and Related Products Advisory Committee, or VRBPAC, and that's the group that yesterday looked at the data and said, this is safe and this is effective. So now the FDA will, I'm sure soon, make a determination and essentially grant what's called an emergency use authorization to allow the actual distribution of the vaccines to people so that it actually goes into someone's arm. So the thing we need to make sure the American public appreciates is that these determinations about safety and efficacy were done independently and transparently so that we see the data, we know about it, there's nothing secret about it.
When you look at what we're hearing from people around the country, there is skepticism. And we see it also breaking along certain demographic groups. So, for example, about 60% of white Americans intend to get it. The numbers are lower for black Americans. And the myths that are out there, while we don't want to reinforce them, I wanted to give you a chance, Dr. Fauci, to address this. You have folks concerned, quote, that this was rushed, that it could give you Bell's palsy, or that taking the COVID vaccine would give you COVID. How do you address these? And while they're all false, I want to be clear about that, the idea that this was rushed does relate to how prioritized it's been. What do you say to folks who are concerned about this?
Well, first of all, let's take the rush issue first. Indeed, this is the fastest that has ever been gone from the time that you've recognized a new pathogen, in this case, the coronavirus, from the time that a vaccine was ready to go into people. It's been less than a year. That a decade ago would have been unheard of. However, the speed of it was due to the extraordinary advances in the scientific advances of vaccine platform technology. So it was the technological advances that allowed us to go quickly. It didn't compromise safety, and it didn't compromise the scientific integrity. In addition, an enormous amount of money to the tune of hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars, was put up front to produce the vaccine even before we knew it was safe and effective. If it turns out to be safe and effective, you've saved months. If it turns out not, which wasn't the case because it did turn out to be safe and effective, we would have lost a lot of money. But the decision was made that the risk to the money was worth the time saved. So that takes care of the speed of it.
Well, this is really important because it's such a public health priority. What you're educating us on is a lot of people hear super fast and they think corners cut or sloppy. And you're saying in this instance, the evidence shows super fast means extra resources and advancement, no corners cut.
Absolutely, 100%. That's exactly what it means. And then the other thing you mentioned is also important. The rumor or concern that the vaccine can cause COVID-19. That is absolutely impossible to happen because what the vaccine is essentially presenting to the body a protein that's part of the virus that isn't the whole virus itself. It can't replicate, it can't infect you, it can't infect anyone else. It's inducing the body to make a response against a very specific part of the virus. It's referred to as the spike protein. So you stick the vaccine in, the gene starts coding for the protein is expressed, the body sees it, thinks it's the virus, but it isn't the virus, and starts making a response against it. So that answers that question.
When will you get the vaccine?
Well, I will get the vaccine as soon as it is available to me. I have mentioned that I have looked at the process, I've looked at the data, I'm convinced that this is safe and effective, and I will get the vaccine as soon as it is made available to me. And I very likely, I'm sure it will happen this way, that I will do it publicly to let the rest of the country know that I'm confident about its safety and about its efficacy.
When should President Trump and President-elect Biden get the vaccine?
Well, I don't want to be telling them when they should get the vaccine, but I think it would be a good idea to get the vaccine publicly so that the rest of the country who is, wedded one way or the other to a particular person will feel if that person gets the vaccine, then I'll get it too. So I'm not going to give them a date, but I'm sure that they're considering getting it publicly.
As president-elect, do you think Vice President Biden should be getting this soon or not necessarily?
Yes. No, I do. I mean, I'm going to be, and I have spoken to the President-elect Biden's team, and they've discussed that with me about the idea of when he should get vaccinated. I believe he should get vaccinated, and I believe, knowing him, which I do know him, that he will very likely want to get it publicly to show the rest of the country that he's in favor of getting vaccinated and encouraging the rest of the country to get vaccinated.
Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.